All right, folks, glad to be back here with Matt Tomter, owner of the Matanuska Brewing Company. We're going to chat a little bit about his recent hospitalization with appendicitis and kind of the ongoing COVID situation. I want to first thank our sponsor, GCI, for making programs like this possible. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. So again, happy to be joined by Matt Tomter, owner of the Matanuska Brewing Company. How you doing, Matt?
Good, Jeff. Thank you very much. Happy to be here to talk about appendicitis.
That's
How often does that happen?
Thankfully, not very often.
Once.
First, I want to say I want to go back about a year and a half, right before the COVID. I did the roast of my 35th birthday at your restaurant.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was fun.
That was amazing. I mean, it was like the biggest thing we did, and then a few months later, the COVID thing happened. And
yeah, it was the biggest thing we've ever done.
Well, now you can't do it anymore because you guys have the golfing.
Yep, the stage is gone. There's inside golf. It's all about physical activity, Jeff.
So I want to chat with you a little bit. I guess it was last week, I was on Facebook and I saw a picture of you like in a hospital gown, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? And you kind of described you had some pain and...
Oh, well, I just said that never think about your appendix too much until all of a sudden it's not working, right? So, last Thursday night, went home, I wasn't feeling good. I woke up Friday morning and a tremendous amount of pain, and by about 10:30, I was dragging myself into my truck and drove myself to regional.
So did you know it was the appendix, or were you just like, something's wrong, I'm in pain?
Oh, I'm not a doctor, but I've seen them on TV. So anyways, no, I just guessed. At that point, it was just bad enough pain that, hospital was a place to go. There was no other option.
So you went to regional.
I did.
Now, when you got there, when you were going there, it's been in the news, obviously, the hospitalizations or hospitals are full. Was that a factor, like a concern, or?
Well, I didn't really give it much thought. I mean, the bottom line is when you need to go to a hospital, and believe me, I'm the last guy on the planet that ever wants to go to a hospital. But when you got to go, there's nowhere else to go. So I called ahead of time, and they said they could get me right in the waiting room. There, I didn't have anybody in the emergency room at that moment, so I beelined it for regional.
How bad was the pain? I mean, it was like on a 1 to 10 scale.
Dude, it's a 12. It's just, if you've ever had an appendix rupture, and those of you who've had, it's a pretty miserable experience. There's just, you can't stand up, you're hunched over, you're just, for crying out loud, it was brutal, yeah.
So you get in, and then now later in the post, you said there was one bed left, or one room left, is that right?
Well, I didn't know that at the time. I mean, I got there, they checked me in, we got a CAT scan, figured out, yeah, Matt's appendix is busted up. They, got me, went through everything else we started doing and got me into a room, and then, and that's when I found out later that night. I think late that night I found out that that was the last room.
So then they started doing some tests. I mean, at some point they figured out they confirmed it.
Well, no, I had a ruptured appendix, and they were able to aggressively treat it with a massive cocktail of antibiotics. And now when you get through, your appendix gets, those of you who are really interested, this is my version of it. If they can treat it with antibiotics first, and it's not just completely exploded open, it makes good sense, because then they can bring that infection down to a point where you can get it healthy, then go in and look at removing it. You're just dealing with less problems, right? So that was the approach.
My big fear is being like on a hike or in a cabin and it bursting. Because when it bursts, I think it's like hours.
No, you're screwed, dude. You can barely get in your truck and drive to regional, let alone that's from Eagle River to regional was about max for me, yeah.
So now you did the post, and where I really got kind of curious about it was Senator Reinbold, who is that your senator? Because you live in Eagle River, right?
I do live in Eagle River.
So I was on there, and she in one of the comment sections, or in the comments, she basically kind of insinuated that it was the vaccine that may have led to your appendix. And then you were when you were in the hospital when you were going back and forth with her, right?
Yeah, no, just take it for granted. I was on morphine the entire time I was in there, so I was along
we
for the ride.
have it on the screen there, the interaction right there. So.
Oh, it is. Oh, look at it right there. There it is. Yeah. She asked if it was the vaccine that caused my appendix to rupture, and my surgeon and I were looking at that post. And
the best part was when she kind of insinuated it was like. It's like, no, the doctors don't know everything about what's...
I like to think about the medical, first of all, it's all crazy town. When you get on an airplane, you're not thinking about the talking head that was on TV talking about aviation, right? You get on an airplane, you're hoping the people up front got their act together and know what they're doing. You think that hopefully the aircraft is maintained properly, and you hope that the crew in the back half, and then maybe the air traffic controllers who are government employees are all working together to safely get you from point A to point B, right? So when you get to the hospital, all that other jibber jab that you hear and see or think about or hear about on the internet all goes away. You're dealing with a surgeon, you're dealing with professional nurses, and folks like that, and it's they know what they're doing, so they're professionals. That's what. So, anyways, I take a lot of credence in what they have to say.
So you did a second post, and you spent 5 days in there, and you talked about, you basically kind of went into the details of what you saw and how this is a real deal, and it was. Everybody you saw was nobody was getting breast implant surgery. It was all people.
Well, I tried to get it while I was in there because I was bored out of my mind. You sit in the hospital for 5 days. I mean, you sit in your room, but you have to get active. So you have to get up and start walking. So after about 2 days, I was walking around every day, and you do about 25 laps a day in your little hospital gown around the floor you're on, and you end up just kind of BSing with people in different rooms, and I do anyways. I'm a talker, so we. There was a lot of really sick people in there. There wasn't anybody that wasn't sick. That was my point. And then just chatting with everybody, you get to know your nursing crew. They're with you for 12 hours at a time, and you get pretty close to them. At least I do. And you just start talking about how things are going, and it's going pretty tough. The rooms were full. So.
And it wasn't. You said it wasn't all COVID, but all the COVID ward was full. But then there was other people that. And this is one of the problems I think we've been hearing about. At the assembly last week, earlier this week, there was a bunch of doctors and nurses from Providence that were saying that it's not just the COVID's a problem, but people who have appendicitis or they get in a car accident or
right.
they break their leg. That's when it becomes.
Yeah, those people need help too, right? I mean, everybody needs help. I mean, my point with writing the thing was, I don't know, I didn't really have a point other than hey man, it's a big deal. If I couldn't have gone in, that would have really sucked. What would happen? Or if I'm in a gurney out in a hallway. I mean, that was what was coming next.
Now, both posts generated a lot of hundreds and hundreds of comments, and mostly all positive. But there was a few kind of like
there's always those folks. But I mean, bottom line, a lot of healthcare workers came back and said something, and whether you're for me, it's we run restaurants, right? And so we have a bunch of servers and bartenders, and whether you're a dishwasher or you're a restaurant manager, all of those people are necessary to make the whole machine work, right? Sit and watch a restaurant work. Well, hospital's kind of the same way. So is probably any other organization that needs a bunch of people to make it work. And so those people all have to be good at what they do. I was impressed. I mean, I got really great service, and I'm still here to talk about it, which is awesome.
And you said you got the vaccine back in like March or April?
March or April, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I got Moderna. I'm pretty happy. Oh. I originally wanted Pfizer, but now I'm kind of happy.
I went with the Pfizer. Not that I had a choice.
I trusted the Viagra folks, but then Moderna seems to be, I don't know, a little better, they're saying, but.
So the Viagra, what are they saying about Viagra?
Well, no, because Pfizer made Viagra, so I was kind of like, I want to go with that.
Oh, I've never needed that.
I've never been a problem for me. Yeah. I have not either. I'm just saying that's Pfizer.
Okay, just making sure we're not going down that road. But they are helping a lot of people in a lot of different ways. I don't know. I'm not going to. I got a vaccine. I'm in restaurants every day, somewhere around tons of people. Well, so why not take? For me, it was just important to take every step I could to ensure that I had all the protections I could.
What do you think about? I mean, there's some of the folks out there, and it's not just the right or the. I mean, sometimes people are so left. Sometimes I feel like they sound like they're on the right about this anti-vax stuff.
I don't know. Jeff, here, I'll be straight up. I'm not going to get in the middle of a political argument. We have people that come in our restaurant that are anti-vaxxers, some that are all pro-vaccine, and I think everybody's got the right to their opinion. I think there's people that can't take a vaccine for one, healthcare reason or another. I don't even pretend to guess what those are, but I don't buy into a conspiracy theory that the vaccine's out there to do us harm.
Yeah.
It's not my thing, yeah.
So running a restaurant, COVID's obviously had a huge impact. I mean, you were pretty outspoken early on in the lockdowns.
It's been a piece of cakewalk, man. We're just glad to just be plowing right through COVID. No, it sucks big time. Who the fuck wants to deal with COVID anytime? I mean, run a restaurant, we've got, you end up with all sorts of issues with your employees. You hope your staff is safe. We've had one of our best customers. I'll leave his name out of it, but he's no longer with us, and he passed away in Providence Hospital with COVID, and so it's the real deal. It does strike home sometimes, but it affects every bit of everything we're doing right now, from supply chain to availability of people to work. I mean, it's hitting us every different direction. Yeah.
Has it been challenging? I mean, one of the things we hear about in some of the hospitality is some restaurants are closed on certain days, not because of business, but because they can't find the people to work. Is that?
We've never done that. We've stayed open. We've focused hardcore on keeping people. We never closed. We did what we did. I think I did really well, which I don't do a lot of things really well. Was, I bought some tents at the beginning of the whole
I remember
nightmare,
those things outside, yeah.
Right, so we had the tiki tent, we did those things, but we had tents when other people didn't. So when December hit and everybody had to shut down, we already owned some tents, and you couldn't rent a tent because the city was using them all for homeless shelters and things like that. And so there just wasn't anything available. So we were able to keep a tent up and stay open, and that kept our staff working. We didn't make any money because our fuel bill, if anybody remembers sitting inside a tent in December, the amount of money we spent on gasoline or to keep that thing warm was over and above any money we ever made. But it kept things moving, kept the staff hired and working, and so we've never dropped out of. Everybody's always had a job. So
and you have the restaurant.
In some respect, I mean, we laid off a ton of people that first time. I should back up. We did when we had to shut down the first time in March 2020. Yeah, it sucked. But we were able to, when we opened back up, able to get people hired at that point. We kept everybody on after that. Yeah.
So you have the Anchorage location, Eagle River, and then Palmer, right?
Correct.
So you have the three.
We opened the Palmer one. The brewery's out there, but we opened the restaurant in September 2020.
Now Anchorage had stricter kind of lockdowns than the Valley. I remember there
was no lockdowns in the Valley.
I remember people were going out there all the time for dinner, and
we were full. That's why we opened a restaurant out there, right? Was to keep things going. So that worked out for us. And when you go to the Valley, everything was wide open. So it was hard to understand why. There's a balancing act there, right? And we didn't balance it very well in Anchorage. I thought that was difficult, and so I thought they put a tremendous burden on the hospitality industry in Anchorage, and I think there's. Anyways, things are different now, which is good.
As a business guy, and obviously you're a well-known conservative. I mean, what's kind of your message to what's your message or what's your goal of how things should, based on being in the hospital and also this Delta situation, but also being fair to the business owners, and what are your thoughts or your message about how to kind of move forward in the city?
Well, I mean, I'm never a fan of seeing anybody get shut down. I think that there should be. I don't think that worked very well. Sometimes it did. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but keeping business open, I think, is fair. I don't think we should be able to discriminate between one or the other. And the people that want to go out will go out. The people that don't want to go out won't go out. And we see that every day. I mean, right now things are not as busy as they could be, simply because a lot of people are staying home, right? We do have a pretty standard group of people and a pretty good, hefty flow of a crowd that keeps us going. And a lot of people, you can just see it now. A lot more people are just choosing to wear masks, and that's great. People are coming in with probably 75%, 80% of the clientele coming in the door now is wearing a mask, and people are choosing to do that on their own. So,
have you seen any? I mean, I remember Bernie Bradley from Bradley House was last year. She had people coming in there and yelling at the staff. Have you seen any of that? Any kind of people getting?
Oh no, we had a lady last week yell at us because one of the crew members was wearing a mask, and we just told her to leave. The bottom line is this: it's just like, get over it, folks. I mean, whether you're into wearing a mask or not, I don't give a shit. But we're not going to get mean to people. We're going to treat people with respect. Let's maybe being a little bit less angry and a little bit more compassionate would be a good time right now.
Yeah, no,
that's what I think. So
I agree with you.
So let's just let people do their thing, and let's work through this. Hopefully, we get out on the other end and things get a lot better. I mean,
so what's the plan now? You're out of the hospital. Do you have to go? Do you have to do anything else with the appendix, or is that?
Oh, we're going to pull it out. It hasn't been pulled out yet, so it's been completely zapped with antibiotics, which is amazing.
So
here I am, dude. I'm totally normal.
No pain.
No pain at all. But I got to go get scoped and everything checked out in about 4 weeks once all the inflammation's down, and then we'll probably most likely pull it out. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my medical experience. Well, all I know. Yeah.
I'm glad you're okay. I love going to Matanuska Brewing and seeing you. I like that Arctic Warrior. That's my favorite beer. I always get over there.
Well, light, refreshing, delicious. What else can you expect?
You guys have any other beers coming up, or?
Oh, we got our Oktoberfest is launching right now, which is because it's September. Because in Germany, they party for October a month early. Right?
So, I was in Munich once for right before Oktoberfest many years ago, and it was wild.
It's insane.
I mean,
you haven't been back because you're still drunk.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. Fuck yeah, I've never been. I can't wait to go.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate you coming in. Glad you're doing okay. Good luck with everything. And if folks want to come, they have the Anchorage, they have the Eagle River, and then the Palmer.
We have
options, right?
lots of places to go. Come on out, hang out with.
And you have the new golf deal, which I'm kind of a little sad about because I wanted to rent it out again and do an event, but now I can't.
Right. Well, we put those golf simulators in, but boy, it was a good move. And
every time I've gone in there, it's been full of people.
Yeah, they're working really well. Yeah.
So you can rent it, and you can have some beers and food, and you can
watch
golf.
sports, play sports. Drink beer while you do both. Yeah.
I got a quick story I'll tell you. You're probably gonna laugh. So I was in Vegas this week. A friend of mine invited me down. He has season tickets to the Raiders. So the Monday night game.
Awesome.
You watch it. It was an
awesome game.
One of the best games maybe ever, right?
Yeah, it was in a brand new stadium. First time they ever played in there. I mean, legendary. Yeah.
So we're at the pool on Monday, and I get there. I have a mimosa, and obviously they give you these like big gulp level size things, and I had a mimosa and let a vodka Red Bull and a shot. I mean, it was 110 degrees.
A vodka Red Bull, a shot, and a mimosa.
Maybe one more over the course of several hours. So my buddy was there.
Swear to God.
It was 110 degrees, all right? So maybe it was and we met these two girls from Alaska that happened to be near the cabana next to us.
Okay, there you go.
One of them, they're from Southeast, and one of them was going to go to the game, the other one wasn't. And then at one point, my buddy left, and he goes, make sure to be 3:30, be down there, take her easy, right?
Right.
And I just laid down, and I passed out, and I woke up, and it was like 5 o'clock. And I was so.
What time the game start down?
5:15. So I missed the game. He gave my ticket to the other one, the girl, because I was passed out.
Well,
I missed the game. Ice Cube, Gladys Knight. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, I can't believe that. That's why those mimosas will kill you. Stick to beer.
I guess so. And we were Mandalay Bay, and I mean the drink is it's like a big gulp. I mean, it's way too big. So
down there.
anyways, I think I'm gonna make myself maybe the loose unit this week on Sunday for missing the game.
Oh, that's bad, dude.
Well,
anyways, at least, God, Raider Stadium, you missed that. Too bad, because I think that would have been a great place.
Flyover, and the tickets were like right on the 20-yard line where the end of the where the touchdown happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like right there. So,
yeah, that would be great.
But she has a good story now because she went to the pool and then ended up at the 10-yard, 15-yard line or 20-yard line, 10 rows up from the.
Well, sometimes it pays to be the girl at the pool.
Good, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Good Vegas story. Well,
yeah.
Matt, wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for coming in and talking about your experience. And again, if folks want to come to the restaurant, they have the Anchorage, Palmer, and Eagle River locations. And I love the Arctic Warrior. That's my kind of go-to.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Jeff. Cheers, everybody. Everybody stay safe and peace.
Thanks again, Matt. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Again, I want to thank our sponsor, GCI, for making broadcasts like this possible. And stay tuned for more interviews with folks around Alaska.